Namaste. Good morning. A session where we are looking at, no, it's the same material. A session where we are looking at set off and walking into deductions. So we saw about set off in the yesterday's class, which income can be set off against, which loss can be set off against which income, how the set off provisions and the principles work. That's where we were seeing in the yesterday's class. And before progressing, I want to take you through the three case laws. Only one is a recent case law, the other two are a old case laws, landmark case laws of Supreme Court. First question, can a partnership firm's loss be taken over by an individual partner? Can a partnership firm's loss be taken over? Loss of a firm is lost on resignation or death of a partner. The principal rule that our law states is loss can be carried forward and set off only by the same person. Loss can be carried forward and set off only by the same person who incurred it. Okay, so loss of a partnership firm cannot be carried forward by the individual or the partner who is continuing or proprietor who is continuing. But எதுக்கு வச்சிருங்க அவ்வளவு கஷ்டப்பட்டு மரியாதை கொடுத்தலாம்ல. Okay, now coming to something more. When can okay, so now you understand, in case of a partnership firm, the loss of the firm cannot be carried on, the loss pertaining to the deceased or retiring partner cannot be carried forward by the firm. You all understand? Okay. When can this be carried forward? Then, that's beautiful. That's what I. Normally, it cannot be carried. If the legal hire, in the case of death of a partner, if the legal hire is appointed as a partner for same benefits, then the firm can continue. Contract law. Legal heir will have the same rights as of the deceased. Okay, right. But the bottom line is still, I'm coming back, loss can be carried forward and set off only by the same person who has incurred that loss. Okay. Now coming to the other side of it. In the case of sole proprietor, in the case of an individual, in the case of death of an individual, loss can be carried forward by the same person. So death of an individual, can the legal heir carry forward the loss of such individual? Can the நான் தான் legal heir சொல்றேன்ல. Can the legal heir carry forward the loss? Yes. Okay. Contract law. Okay. In the case of a legal heir, the legal heir can carry forward the loss of the deceased person. Now, there are more than one legal heir. There are more than one legal heir. The law says those legal heirs together should constitute as a firm. Those legal heirs should together constitute as a firm. In such case, I will allow the loss. I cannot proportionate it. I cannot say legal heir for 10%, 20%. Huh? No, they want them together to claim and not any one individual to claim. Adu contract yeah, they are jointly and separate. But what I'm saying is the loss if there are more than one legal heir, two sons, spouse and two sons, they are together known as legal heirs. When a spouse 50%, 25%, 25%. Bill என்ன மாதிரி இருக்கும்? For the property தான் இருக்கும். என்னோட loss. Yeah, the question is, if there are three legal heirs, can one alone claim it and the other two forego? No. They have to constitute themselves as a firm. Properly as a firm, as a together as an entity. If it is business, they will constitute as a firm if they are continuing that business. If it is house property, they will constitute as an AOP and then they can carry forward. They should carry forward it as a firm. நீ ஏன் proportionக்கு போற? And the firm can carry forward that loss. Okay, three things I have told you. One, on normally firm's loss on death or resignation cannot, that portion of loss cannot be carried forward by the firm. One exception is that if the partner is dead, okay, if the deceased partner, legal heir appointed for the same benefit, the firm can carry forward. Two, okay, sole proprietor also same principle. If there are more than one legal heir, constitute as a firm and carry forward and set off that losses. Three, if the firm is dissolved due to differences between the partners and one partner takes over all the assets, liabilities, etc. of the firm, and he says, now I will take over the loss, it is not possible. Loss can be carried forward only by the same person who has incurred it. Incurring is by the firm. Of course, exceptions are amalgamation, demerger, conversion, but this is not an exception. This is not an exception. In the final material, you will have the answer, the case laws for this. The first two are Supreme Court old case laws. The Pramod Mittal is the recent case law. Pramod Mittal case we have already written in partnership firm also. Okay, Madhukar Mehta, losses suffered by the deceased proprietor was allowed to be set off by the firm as there were more than one legal heir and they have constituted themselves as a firm. No, it will not be there. Okay. Saroj Agarwal, partnership firm was not dissolved on the death of a partner. The partnership firm which suffered the loss continued with the induction of the legal heir as the deceased person. This being a case of succession, the benefit of losses was given to the reconstituted firm. Okay. இதுதான் recent case law. Pramod Mittal, can the loss suffered by an erstwhile firm which was dissolved be carried forward for set off by individual partner who took over the business of the firm? The court said no, it is not possible. Assets and liabilities. Who incurred the loss? Who is trying to set off? I'm going to the bottom line principle. Loss can be carried forward and set off only by the same person. Death is act of God. Dissolution is not act of God. Gone. Who? Who? Hmm. Hmm. What can be the losses nu paakalam? No. Partnerless sole proprietor, Mr. X dies. He was doing business. He has some loss. His sons want to continue the business, who are legal heirs, constitute as a firm and take the losses. That is contract law. Contract law says legal heir will have the same benefit. No, no, no. That is sole proprietor. This is partnership. Okay. Let's go to question number 1. Srimati Rupa succeeds the business of her husband, Mr. Rupan, who died on 10th September. Rupa made a profit during the previous year. Till 31st March, the business was making losses, resulting in brought forward. Can Rupa claim the set off? Yes. Okay. Does our friend require any help? Yeah, yeah, sure. can brought forward loss and unabsorbed depreciation be set off against presumptive income? 44 AD, 44 AE, 44 ADA. Online students,
Yes, sir, we can claim.
online students, any answer?
No, sir. No,
You
no,
you cannot
no,
claim. That's
sir.
what
It
you
cannot
say.
be.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All expenses under section 30 to 37 are deemed to have been claimed. Unabsorbed depreciation falls under 32, so it is deemed to have been claimed, whereas business loss comes under chapter 6. You can claim it. Repeating, whenever there is a presumptive computation of income, all expenses under section 30 to 37 unabsorbed depreciation cannot be claimed, but business loss can be claimed. The difference between chapter 4 and chapter 6. Chapter 6 only speaks about losses, set of chapter, whereas unabsorbed depreciation is said in chapter 4. Do you understand? Do you understand? Okay.
Sir.
Yeah, chapter 4. 6 is set off of losses. Okay. Losses that has been brought forward for last year. I did not go by presumptive computation. I have a brought forward loss. I can claim this year. Yeah, sure, sure. Firm J, K, L, and M sharing equally has made a total loss of 8 lakhs. K retires. Okay. Okay. According to section 78, in the case of reconstitution of a firm due to death or resignation of a partner, then loss pertaining to the retiring or deceased partner cannot be carried forward by the firm. இது ரிசிக்னேஷன் அது டெத்துக்கு மாத்தணும்னா you cannot claim. Huh? This thing na பார்ட்னர்ஷிப்ல என்ன ஷேரா அது எப்படி பார்ட்னர்ஷிப்ல எதுடா ஷேர் yes sir again it is section 78 covers chapter 6 law of interpretationலயே அந்த unobserved decision. Subsequent to the demise of Mrs. X, her sons constituted a firm and ran the same business. Can the firm set off the loss of late X? The answer is yes. That is what is the case law. No, no. 1 minute, I'll show you the case law. Saroj Agarwal. No, no, sorry. Madhukan Mehta. Madhukant Mehta. No. Yes, this case law is a very old case law. Very old case law. Yeah, yeah, correct. No, how இப்பதானே we all discussed. If there are more than one legal heir, how to do it? Yeah. Huh? The legal heirs have already constituted. They can carry. They need not constitute a new firm. Yeah, assets and liabilities. HUF loss is not dependent on the member. A member deceased doesn't mean that the HUF. Yeah, he's a member. One other person will be appointed as Karta. No, no, that is not a disqualification for loss. HUF is an entity. கம்பெனில ஒரு டைரக்டர் மாதிரி தான் ஹெச்யூஎஃப்ல கர்த்தா மேனேஜிங் டைரக்டர்னு எடுத்துங்களேன் அந்த மாதிரி. Question number 5. Change it to 1st April 21. Mr. A and Mrs. A purchased the entire shares of Messrs. Thakur Company Private Limited. Remember, it is a closely held company. It's a private limited company, and these two people are buying the entire shares. They are buying the entire shares of the firm, of the company, which means the change in the shareholding percentage is 100%. Section 79 says, in the case of a closely held company, if you want to claim the benefit of brought forward loss, then at least 51% of the shareholders in the year of incurring the loss should continue to be the shareholders in the year in which you are trying to set it off. Otherwise, the set off benefit is lost. Otherwise, my dear friends, the set off benefit is lost. Let's look into it. The law is silent. I understand in your case, suppose A, B, C, D are partners in 2017-18. ABC are not, shareholders. ABC are not shareholders in 18-19, 19-20. They again purchased the shares in 2021. So can 17-18 loss be set off in 2021 is your question. Should there be continuous or just these 2 years? The law is silent. So I believe these 2 years. The company has unabsorbed business loss and accumulated depreciation from earlier year. The company made sufficient profit during the current year to accommodate the above losses. State the effect of change of shareholders in the right of the company to carry forward the losses and unabsorbed depreciation. B. Is it different if the shares are acquired by A and Mrs. A as gift? Can you go back and read the provision once? Even in this material, you can go back and read the provisions of section 79 once. Yeah, no, you're not only eligible startup. Gift means you can still carry forward. Okay, gift means you can still. So, question number 5. According to section 79, losses of closely held company can be carried forward and set off if at least 51% of the shareholding is with the same person both in the year of incurring the loss and in the year of set off. In the given case, 100% of the shareholding has changed. இவ்வளவு இன்கம் டாக்ஸ் நடத்துறதுக்குலாம் எனக்கு சொல்ல. Oh, you want me? He's in a tax diet. Question number 6. You want me to, Raja? The following details are available relating to Mr. Hari Vallabh, who always files the return within the stipulated time. AY 21-22 LTCL, AY 22-23 LTCG. The LTCG during the AY 22-23 is from sale of shares in a recognized stock exchange. AO contends that brought forward LTCG should be set off against the above LTCG of 5.3 for the current year, and hence there is no further LTCG which can be carried forward. Is he justified? Hmm? This is taxable at 20%, 112. This is taxable at 10%, 112A. Can be set off. Yeah, yes, Avo's contention is correct. Not only same head, they will allow this 20% against 10%. They will allow, because next year if there is a 20%, you can still get that maximum tax. Okay, so they will allow such, and also same head. Okay.
வந்ததுமே சொல்ல மாட்டேன். அவர்கிட்ட சொன்னா நான் தான் இது போடணும்னு விட்டேன். பொட்டு சாயம் ஆல்ரெடி. அப்படியா?
Can you please mute the mic, please? Can you please mute the mic?
ஆறு
சொல்லு. No. No, Mr. Venkatesh. Uh, Question number 7. Okay, already people they have texted me saying office போனோம் 10 மணிக்கெல்லாம் எடுக்காதீங்கன்னு. Question number 7. Compute the gross total income of Mr. Francis from the following information. Actually, it's a continuous question number. நான் இதுல 7 போட்டேன். நான் மாத்திடுறேன் நம்ம இதுல. Income from house property, income from business before providing depreciation, STCG on sale of shares, LTCL from sale of property brought forward from 1920, income from tea business, dividend from Indian company carrying on agricultural operations, current year depreciation, brought forward business loss. One of the questions, dividend from Indian company carrying on agricultural operations. Brilliant answer. Okay. Tata Tea. Okay. That case law went up to court. அதுக்கு முன்னாடியே இதுக்கு ஒரு இது இருக்கு. If you are receiving salary from a company which is carrying on agriculture, you cannot claim exemption saying that the company, what you are getting is under a different head called salaries. Similarly, in this case, old case, they said dividend, the company's business is what is the nature of income you get, as he said. Dividend is the nature of income you are getting. So it will become taxable. There is nothing called exemption under 10.1 here. I should have given income from tea business also computed. This is that 40% portion only. Don't assume this to be 100% and take 40%. Okay, உனக்கு அது ஞாபகமே இல்லைன்னு தெரியும், பரவாயில்ல, உன்னை பத்தி நான் tea, coffee, rubber. Yes, Raja, 8 எல்லாமே. Okay, go ahead, start working. Start computing the gross total. Start computing, friends, gross total income. Some things in life are very tempting. Tax விட காஃபி கொஞ்சம் டெம்டிங்கா இருக்கு. முடிச்சிட்டு வந்துடுறேன். You're doing it on your own. Do it on your own னு சொன்னேன் படவா. Okay. Can LTCL be set off against STCG? And it cannot be set off against any income also. LTCL can be set off only against LTCG. Correct? Got it. Mr. E has furnished the following: income from salaries, speculative business, loss from non-specified business, short-term capital gain, long-term capital loss for the previous year, winnings from lottery. Compute the GTI. Yeah, that's why they have given it is also not from specified. If it is specified losses, you can. Let this be speculative loss or general loss. This can be set off against speculative income. Whereas speculative loss cannot be set off against the general business income. Okay. If suppose, I'm just extending the question. If suppose I say this is the total income, 2,70,000 is the total income. What is the tax payable? Winnings is taxable. Of course, rebate can be claimed. Tax payable will be nil. We'll do tax payable tomorrow, but winnings is taxable. Okay, you can claim it as rebate. You can claim it as rebate. For example, I'm not even if I put here just 30,000, for example, still winnings is taxable. Still winnings, that basic exemption limit cannot be claimed for winnings. You can claim it for LTCG. You can claim it for STCG. You cannot claim it for winnings. Winnings is a standalone. Why? Because all things falling under 115 are by itself charging 115 BB, 115 JB, 115 BBD. Very soon in international taxation, 115A, 115 TD, exit tax for this charitable trust. Okay, so all these things, you cannot claim any deductions. Even the basic exemption limit cannot be claimed. I'll do it tomorrow, but generally this is the principle. All incomes that are taxable at special rates are taxable at special rates, but don't confuse it with 112 and 112A or 111A. Are the STCG, LTCG. So don't take it as special rates. All income that are coming under 115. Yes, it has a rate, but there you can claim the basic exemption limit set off. Suppose my income is other than LTCG is 2 lakhs. My LTCG is 1 lakh. General LTCG, 20%. Taxable LTCG is only 50,000 because the deficit of 50,000 up to 250 basic exemption limit. 2 lakhs is my income other than LTCG. So there is a deficit of 50,000 that can be set off against the LTCG. Balance LTCG is taxable. However, that is not possible under winnings. You cannot. Suppose if I change it to 30,000, also still winnings of 20,000 becomes taxable. Okay, okay, right? As she said, as she was asking, set off not a standalone chapter. Companies, firm, one of the adjustment, mostly firm, the partner retiring, so that portion of set losses you cannot carry forward and set off. Or, but this time, that public sector undertaking might be a theory question. That is an amendment for the year. That is an amendment for the year. So that can be a theory question. Otherwise, I don't find any question, standalone questions in set off. Okay, PSU can be the question. So as such, we have completed all the 5 hits. We had a reasonable idea on salaries, good idea on house property, PGBP, capital gains and IFOS completely we had idea. Clubbing, we have what the idea required for your examination and set off. So we arrive at gross total income. The next forward step is popularly known as Chapter 6A deduction. Chapter 6A deductions. Deductions from gross total income. And a major part of that chapter we already covered it in 80I. Business oriented deductions. Can I tell you what are all business? 80I, IA, IB, IC, ID, IE, 80 JJAA. new employees. 80M, intercorporate dividends. If I receive dividend and if I distribute dividend, the cascading effect needs to be avoided. So the law says dividend received or dividend distributed before 30th September 2022, whichever is less is allowed as deduction. 80P, cooperative societies. And generally spread across the chapter, we saw 80G. Okay, I'll deal with 80G also, generally spread across. So, like how I categorize the capital gains into two. Non-business segment, mostly claimed by individuals, 54, 54B, 54F, and business segment, 54D, 54G, with 54EC alone can be claimed. Here also, majority of the deductions are only for individuals and HUF. Others are like 80 IA, the individuals HUF, அது ஒரு businessman-க்கு தான். If an individual is carrying business, okay. Okay. 80P is only for cooperative, 80M only for companies. The one section which is for individuals, for companies, 80G. Well, everybody can claim. Okay. This is one way of understanding. Second, outflow or expenditure based. Money goes out of me. Outflow or expenditure based deductions, inflow or income based deduction. Okay, I pay life insurance, I pay medical insurance, I pay interest on loan, I pay interest on house property loan, I give donation, outflow based. Inflow based, 80I, 80JJAA and 80M and something like 80TTA, savings bank interest, 80TTB for senior citizens. Like that, this chapter is going to be understood by us. Okay, 80JJAA is the employee-க்கு கொடுக்கிற salary நீ outflow சொல்ற, ஆனா this is from the income earned by the employees by putting their labor. Yeah. Okay, of course I understand there is an outflow of cash, and the outflow of cash is expenditure. Okay, that is just an expenditure which you have claimed in your books of accounts. Other than that, extra 30%. That is for the generation of employment. So from 80I we call it as income oriented, up to 80G we call it as outflow based. Okay, right? House property is there, self-occupied. Okay, there is an interest of 2 lakhs. Can you claim it as loss? Yes, loss from self-occupied property. House property has an income of, let us take 1 lakh. My deduction under 80C, can I claim 1,50,000? House property is my only income, and that income is 1 lakh. Can I claim only 1 lakh? Because of deduction, you cannot have loss. Chapter wise loss எடுத்துக்கலாம். House property chapter can have loss. PGBP chapter can have loss. Capital gains chapter can have loss. But because of deduction, you cannot have loss. No. No. Actually, there is another way of interpreting it. Investment can be made only from income. When your income itself is 1 lakh, how are you investing 1,50,000? So, which is restricted to 1 lakh. I'm just giving you some ground rules before going into the chapter. Okay. One of the popular sentence of all special rates of taxation is expenditure or deductions cannot be claimed. எல்லா 115 எல்லா special rates of taxation க்கு bottom line ஒண்ணுதான். When your rates are special, I am not going to give you any other benefit. Expenditure or deductions cannot be claimed. You have winnings. Can you claim LTC? You have LTCG. You cannot claim. So the law will say deductions cannot be claimed against STCG on which STT is paid, LTCG and winnings. Deductions cannot claimed against because when the rates are special, already I am giving you a benefit. I am not ready to pass on any other benefit to you. Their expenditure will not be allowed. AMT and Maternity at 115 BBD, that dividend from foreign company, okay, specified foreign company, collection charges or expenses cannot be claimed. 115Q, buyback of shares, expenditure cannot be claimed. 115, எல்லா 115 actually இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் non-resident போகும்போது you will become more clear. அங்கதான் 115 ஓட remaining list are there. Okay, where you will more understand that expenditure cannot be claimed if that is a bottom line of income tax law. Okay, reading it section wise is not necessary. You know that if the rate is special, expenditure or deductions cannot be claimed. Okay, in half an hour our admin will come. I'll give you the material also. Hand up. Okay, so the introduction. Deductions is from the gross total income. Deduction cannot be claimed if the income is special. Deduction should not exceed the gross total income. Expenditure based, income based. First, let us understand 80C. Okay. First, let us understand 80C. There are some restrictions internally. Examல நான் இந்த restrictions கேட்டு பார்த்ததில்ல. At the final level also I haven't seen. Okay, but generally have an idea because this restrictions is going to be understood by us in 2 or 3 places. In 2 or 3 places. First, life insurance premium. Life insurance premium on assessee, spouse and children can be claimed. Remember, parents can claim பண்ண முடியாது. If an individual pays life insurance premium for his father, the individual cannot claim that. For whom it can be claimed? Assessee, spouse, and nowhere I use the word dependent children. Nowhere did I say it's dependent. It's children. You mean to say premium, 2 people can they claim it as deduction? No, you cannot. Only one can claim that. Okay. Okay, நீ அது
Sir,
டேரக்டாவே கேட்டிருக்கலாம். சார் இவர் சன்னும் கிளைம் பண்ணுவாரா? நீ ஃபாதர்ல இருந்து ஆரம்பிப்பேன் நான் எதிர்பார்க்கல. நான் டிபெண்டன்ட் சில்ட்ரன் இல்லன்னு சொன்னப்புறம் நீ டேரக்டாவே சார் கேன் தி சன் ஆல்சோ கிளைம்? சார் ஃபாதர் he paid. Okay, so that is
Sir, but if the
listening
son
Sudha?
takes a but if the son takes a different policy, he can claim, no,
Yeah,
sir?
he can claim. He can claim. That's what anyone can claim. Both of the question was, can both of them claim? No, they cannot claim.
Only those who pay the premium can claim.
Once more.
Only those who pay the premium can
Only
claim.
those who has paid the premium can claim. Okay. LIC, okay, life insurance premium on the life of assessee, spouse and children. Okay, and then there is a restriction on the maximum premium. Now it is only 10%. Okay, 2012 already 10 years over. but there are 20-year policies. So if the policy is taken on or before 2012, actual premium or 20% of sum assured. On or after 1st April 2012, actual premium or 10% of sum assured. On, okay, for a physically disabled person, I give up to 15% if the policy is taken. Okay, here I want to connect some dots for you. Life insurance premium is paid. Okay, remember, premium is paid. Policy matures, not due to the event, but due to the time period over. Due to the event, it's exempt. Time period over. 10 years policy, 10 years is over. I'm receiving the lump sum. Is it taxable?
Yes, if it exceeds 20%
Right.
of the sum assured.
Actually, it is not taxable. Section 10, I'll teach you, don't worry. We have a chapter. Section 10, subsection 10D. Not taxable. Life insurance premium, sum assured, I mean, policy value, when it matures, it is not taxable. And there they use the word. However, our friend was telling the answer. If the premium exceeds 20% or 10%, then the maturity proceeds are taxable. And connecting the dots. 3 section connect பண்றேன். 3 sections. Understand? ATC says up to 20% or 10%, depending upon on or before 31/3/2012, on or after 31/4/2012. Leave the last part of it. Huh? Is the premium amount. 1010D says, section 10, subsection 10D says, maturity proceeds are exempt. However, if the premium paid has exceeded 20% or 10%, as the case may be, maturity proceeds becomes taxable. Section 194DA, TDS. That law says, அங்கதான் நான் இது உங்களுக்கு full teach பண்ண போறேன். The law says tax has to be deducted at source if the maturity proceeds are taxable. So reverse la வரேன். Tax has to be deducted at source if maturity proceeds are taxable. Maturity proceeds are taxable if the premium has exceeded 20% or 10%, as the case may be. ATC says restriction of 20%. There are 3 dots which can be linked. Okay. Okay. So this question more from ATC perspective varadu, more from 194DA perspective they will ask you. Okay, they'll ask you there. There I will teach you 1010D and the amendment of 1010D. Contribute. Yeah. Another way of looking at it, what popularly called it as HNW, high net worth clients or individuals. அவங்களுக்கு tax. You are not actually you are eligible to claim a exemption deduction under ATC up to 20%. Not that you cannot claim at all. Up to 20% you can claim. Raja, 20% மேல பிரீமியம்னா பாலிசியே 5 years தான். Okay. Contribution to SPF, RPF, PPF and superannuation fund. Okay, contribution to all types of provident fund. Sukanya Samriddhi account, girl child. Okay, welfare of girl child. Okay, the only, as I told you, belonging to a generation where I have not studied Hindi as a subject. Where I learn Hindi is if you read the central government schemes. Okay, Swachh Bharat. அதுக்கப்புறம் எனக்கு ஸ்வச்னா என்னன்னு தெரிஞ்சிடும். Okay, subscription to NSC, NSS. Raja, you want water? Including interest accrued on NSC. Interest accrued on NSC is like reinvestment. Payment of tuition fees to approved educational institution restricted to 2 children of the assessee. To an approved educational institution, schools, colleges, universities, only tuition fees. ப்ராக்டிக்கல் வேர்ல்ட்ல இங்க நிறைய தப்பு பண்றோம். அப்படி ஃபீஸ் எடுத்து போட்டுறோம். அந்த ஃபீஸ்ல என்னெல்லாம் காம்பனன்ட்னு உங்க எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும். ஓகே, ஸ்கூல்ல வந்தா பாத்துக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு. Problem is not for the employee. Yeah. Repayment of principal portion of housing loan. Repayment of principal portion, only the principal portion. Stamp duty, etc. for newly purchased house. Eligible issue of equity, including mutual funds, everything. Unit Trust of India. Okay. Investment in 5-year term deposit with banks and post office. Annuity linked insurance plan, that is LIC's plan. Annuity linked pension plan, insurance plan la irukku avangalukku. This is where from here understanding should be greater. 80 CCD subsection 1, like provident fund, you also contribute to pension fund, allowed up to 10% if he is an employee. If he is a professional or non-employee, 20% of gross total income. All these things put together are 1,50,000, whichever is less. All these things put together are 150, whichever is less. All of us, please understand, 80C is divided into 3 parts. I have completed only part A. Part A, what are all the pension we will take? Employees' contribution to pension scheme, contribution to annuity linked pension plan, superannuation. All these things will be here. This is part A. Part B is, apart from being an employee, this is statutory contribution. You don't have an option. Apart from being an employee, I also voluntarily contribute towards a pension fund. Contribution to NPS other than statutory contribution, voluntary contribution, actual or 50,000, whichever is less. Am I clear? Okay. The last is employer's contribution to pension fund. Employer's contribution to pension fund. Central government means 14%, others means 10%. So, pension ki employer contribute பண்றாங்க. Okay, employer contributes towards pension fund. First, I will add it up in the salaries and then provide 80 CCD subsection 2. Repeating, employer's contribution to pension fund. First, I will include it in salary and I will provide 80 CCD subsection 2, 10% or 14%. 14% outunga, 10% எடுத்துங்க.
Sir, I have a doubt actually. Uh, that stamp duty can be claimed in two places, sir, actually. In 80C and even in 54X.
Yes, sir.
In 50,
Yes, sir. It is also cost of acquisition. Yes, sir. You can.
yeah.
Take your time. Read it once. I want the class to understand something which many people are making mistake. 80C 150 illa. Part A is 150. Part B up to 50,000. Part C is up to 10% of salary. Idodia total is 80 CCE. Okay. So don't understand it as just maximum 150. Maximum 150 is only for part A. Apart from that, you can claim voluntary contribution of 50 and employer's contribution. Okay. I will tell you something. Employer's contribution. Okay. To PF. You remember the provision? Okay. அப்படின்னு கேட்டு நானே ஆன்சர் பண்ணிடணும். Exempt up to okay, Paracha. 12 of salary. Exempt up to 12% of salary. இப்போ employer contributes 15%. What will you do? 3%. ஆனா pension fundல கொஞ்சம் different. Add that 15%, reduce 10%. Pension fund ஓட technically pension fund to pension fund. Okay. Actually, it is exempt up to 10% of salary. ஆனா இத டைரக்டா எக்ஸம்ஷனா கொடுக்கிறது இல்ல. This is not given as an exemption. Actually, it is easy to put it as an exemption. Like PF, more than 12% taxable. Here also they could have said it as more than 10%. But instead what they do, okay, it is not being done like this. It is not being done like this. It is add entire contributed sum to gross salary and allow up to 10% under 80 CCD subsection 2. That's the difference they are making. Both are same. There also I can add up 15% and give 80C another section 12%. Here also more than 10% taxable. But the way in which it is interpreted, the way in which it should be presented is only different. Because I'm taking this time because to tell you something that when we work out optional tax regime tomorrow, alternative tax regime, an individual going under 115 BAC cannot claim any deduction under chapter 6A except 80 CCD subsection 2. 80 JJ except 80 CCD subsection 2. அது claim பண்ணலாம். The 150 claim பண்ண முடியாது. அந்த 50 claim பண்ண முடியாது. ஆனா just 10% because had it been in salaries provision itself, I would have only taxed more than 10%. Since I have brought it differently, they are also allowing this. Okay, we'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow we are completing our classes till we complete assessment of individuals. Okay, apart from deductions, the questions on deductions, we will have rates of taxation, some comprehensive question of assessment of individual, optional tax regime. So first two will be first half of the one class session, and then optional tax regime another class session, along with balance case laws of assessment of individual. We will be over with assessment of individual tomorrow. Okay, so my dear friends, remember 80 CCD subsection 2 is employer contribution, not a tough thing. Adhe mari when I look into pension contribution for pension, என்னெல்லாம் வருதுன்னா annuity linked pension plan 80CCC, this is in part A, maximum 150. Employees contribution to pension plan, this is in 80CCD part 1, again in part A. Voluntary contribution to NPS, this is in part B, that is maximum 50,000. Employers contribution to pension fund, this is in part C, that is the 10% of salary. So there are 4 types of pension which can be there. One is annuity linked pension plan, அது ஏற்கனவே இருக்கு. That scheme is there for years together. That is always to LIC or insurance, so 80C main part. Then employees contribution to pension fund is like employees contribution to provident fund. Part A, employers contribution and voluntary contribution is separate. தப்பா தப்பா நினைச்சுக்காத, டிராவலிங் அலவன்ஸ் இல்ல, லீவ் டிராவல் கன்செஷன். So for our friend purpose, 80D, 80D covers four things. Friends, 80D covers four things: medical insurance premium, contribution to central government health scheme CGHS, preventive health checkup, master health checkup, and if a senior citizen is there who is not covered by a policy, medical expenses incurred. Four things are covered under 80D: medical insurance, contribution to central government health scheme, preventive health checkup. There is a senior citizen who the insurance company is not ready to insure, medical expenses incurred. These four. Normally, everything should be made by approved modes except the preventive health checkup. That alone can be in cash. Any mode. Because the maximum there is only 5,000. The maximum there is only 5,000. Now coming to what is that deduction? I am dividing the policies into two. Policy 1 covers assessee, spouse, and okay, spouse need not be dependent but children. Policy 2, parents. Policy 2 is not dependent parents. Parents. They need not be dependent on the assessee also, they can claim. For each policy, you can claim up to 25,000. And if in any of the policy, if one of the person insured is a senior citizen also, then you can claim up to 50,000. Okay. Okay. Up to 50,000 you can claim. Naraja. Thanks, Da. 80DD. Medical treatment or maintenance of a physically disabled person. 75,000 or 1,25,000. Remember, you need not look into actual amount spent. This is allowed. This is allowed irrespective of actual amount spent. 80DD will again repeat as 80U. Here, assessee takes care of a disabled person. There, assessee himself suffers from a disability. They can claim. 80DDB is for specified diseases. Is for specified diseases. Actual expenditure are 40,000. However, if the ailing person is a senior citizen, 1 lakh. ATC has 3 parts. Part A, Part B, Part C. 80D also has 3. 80D, 80DD, 80DDB. You mean to say that 25 and 50? No, 80D medical. 80D has 4 parts. அது 80C அப்படி பார்த்தா எவ்வளவு parts? 40 parts. LIC, PPF, PF. Okay, okay, okay. Right, friends? Next comes 4 types of interest. 4 types of interest under 80E. E is for interest. Educational loan taken. Interest paid is allowed even for whoever pays, as our friend Sudha said, whoever pays. If parents pay also, they can claim. Then comes the 2 sections which are offering for house property. Then comes the 2 sections which are offering for house property. Already interest on house property can be claimed in 24. Already we all know section 24, interest on house property can be claimed, let out property fully it can be claimed, self-occupied property up to 2 lakhs you can claim. Remember that, and now this is 80E educational loan actual interest. Now remember this, we are progressing to the 2 types of housing loan interest. Before going into this, why this provision came? The Prime Minister's dream for housing for all. The existing Prime Minister, the present Prime Minister's dream is housing for all. He announced this in the year 2015. He got elected in 2014. One of his dream is everyone in India should own a house. Every family in India should own a house. So he announced a scheme called Housing for All. So in the financial year 16-17, they introduced 80EE, which is to promote people to buy house. Those who are not, again, the intention is not high net worth clients. The intention is middle class, lower middle class who does not have a house. Okay. The house should be purchased in the financial year 16-17. Loan house rendume. The value of the house should not exceed 50 lakhs. Okay, right? That should be the first house. You cannot own any house. If you are already a house owner, I am not going to give you that. And it should be self-occupied. If these conditions are satisfied, already you would have claimed 2 lakhs in house property chapter because it is a self-occupied property. But your interest comes to 2,20,000, 2,30,000. The law says over and above 2 lakhs, but to a limit of rupees 50,000 you can claim. Once more. So realizing this, they brought a new section called section 80EE. Our friend was saying the deduction was very less. Second thing they understood is 1 year ku matram in the scheme kudutha tappu. Purchase of house in 16-17. People were unable to plan within that time. So they reintroduced this scheme from 1/4/2019 to 31st March 22. In this 3 years, you have purchased the house, which has a value of 45 lakhs. Okay. There it was 50 lakhs. Here it is 45 lakhs. And this is your first house. It is self-occupied. Okay. Actual interest exceeding 2 lakhs or rupees 1,50,000, whichever is this. In the question, if they give, the house was purchased in 16-17, up to 50,000 தான். 19 எப்போ purchase பண்ணிருந்தாலும் up to 2 lakhs you claim under 24 and remaining amount you can claim in 80EEA. So this is somewhere it has gone, it is not useful, but this is 80EEA is useful. இது ஏன்னா அந்த வருஷம் நீ ஹவுஸ் வாங்கியிருந்தேனா இந்த செக்ஷனை நம்பி, how can they repeal that section? 2016-17 they introduced it. 17, 18, 18, 19, they did not realize the mistake. Again, when they got elected, politics பேசலாம். No, fair market value or actual value. Of course, it will match with the stamp value. I agree with you, but law has not set stamp value in the first case. Sorry, stamp value. I should not stamp duty. It should be stamp value. Sorry. Stamp value, market value ரொம்ப டிஃபரெண்ட். ஒரு சார்ட் அக்கௌண்டரா இருந்து நீ இந்த கேள்வி கேட்க கூடாது. Combine. House means land and building, opportunity there too. Green economy is the next one. So buy electric vehicles. By obtaining a loan, I will give you 1,50,000 as. Okay. 4 types of interest are claimed under 80E. 80E, the primary section, educational. 80EE, housing loan in excess of, interest on housing loan in excess of 1 lakh, 2 lakhs. If the house is purchased in 1617. 80EEA, interest exceeding 2 lakhs up to 150 if the house is purchased between 1/4/2019 to 31st March 22. Already it is extended, I know, because 2021, 21, 22 COVID affected years, how will people buy? So they have already extended that, but for our examination 22. And 80 EEB, electric vehicles up to 150. Okay, okay. Quickly I'll say 80C 3 parts, 80D 3 parts, 80E 4 types of interest. I'll do 80G little detail. Okay, 80GG rent paid for those who are not claiming HRA. Okay, for professionals, okay, for self-employed people. Okay, avungalukku ena salary class now they can claim HRA. This is one. Okay, seemingly good, but what is the mistake? Claim பண்ணாம விட்டுறலாம், அவமானமா இருக்கு. Okay, I'll pay tax for 60,000 instead of claiming that 60,000. 80GGA, donation to scientific research and rural development. If you are a business SSA, you would have claimed it under section 35. That is why it should not be claimed by people who have income under PGBP, because there you would have claimed. Others, if you are a salaried employee donating to IIT for research, donating to National Lab for research, donating for rural development, claim 100%. Donation 80G, 80GGA, 80GGB, GGC, எங்கேயுமே 2000க்கு மேல if you pay by unapproved modes, you will not get the benefit. GGB, GGC, political party 100%. JJ, not a very popular section, biodegradable waste. Okay, that is for Onyx. ONYX, Onyx, for which 100% they can claim, provided they use it for, actually they used it for generation of electricity. New employees we have already seen. 80 LA, we will see it in international taxation, non-resident IFSC. 80M we have seen. 80P cooperative society we have seen. 80PA is for new producer companies. Leave it, now that concept is gone. Okay, so these are, then comes the expenditure based, I mean income based. 80QQB and RRB, royalty up to 3 lakhs you can claim. Royalty for authors, royalty for patent, okay, up to 3 lakh you can claim. Difference between TTA and TTB is, TTA is for non-senior citizens, only for savings bank account. TTB is for senior citizen, also for term deposit. TTA 10,000, TTB 50,000. Where will you see the difference? 194A, tax deduction at source. However, if the person receiver is a senior citizen, threshold limit 50,000. ATU is like ATD. ATDD is assessee taking care of a person. I spend. ATU, assessee himself suffering from disability. From his income, I'm going to give it. Inflow based, expenditure based. Income based, royalty income. Okay, you write a book, author of a book. Okay, which should be recognized by the Sahitya Academy. And from the sale of that book, you get royalty up to 3 lakhs you can claim. Patent, you are a patenter. Okay, you develop a patent. From the royalty you can. Who cannot claim this 80 RRB? ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான கொஸ்டின், நான் தான் ஆன்சர் சொல்லிடுறேன், கவலைப்படாது. நான் ரெசிடென்ட்லாம் போகாதீங்க. If the assessee is opting for 115 BBF, what is 115 BBF? 115 BBF, royalty from patent, 10% taxation, no expenditure, no deduction can be claimed. ஆனா ஒரு அஷ்யூரிட்டியோட தான் நான் சொல்றேன் உங்களுக்கு. இது எல்லாத்தையும் நானே கன்சாலிடேட் பண்ணிருக்கேன் லேட்டர். பேட்டன்னா நீங்க இதெல்லாம் ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும், இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட்னா நீங்க இதெல்லாம் ஞாபகம் வச்சுங்கோ. ஓகே, முடிஞ்சா இதை டீச்சிங் எக்ஸாம்க்கு எடுத்துன்னு போயிடுங்க. I don't know, textbook count, subject books are not, it is not approved by Sahitya. இல்ல இல்ல, அவ கேக்குறது இப்போ if you are the Shukla Gravel, okay, for we cannot, that is only for novels. This is only for fiction or non-fictional works, not for subject related books. நான் கிளைம் பண்ண முடியாது. நான் வந்து Dinesh Jain is an author. I'm only a material. ஏன்னா எனக்கு வந்து இந்த கிராமட்டிக்கலாலாம் வராது. எனக்கு நான் டைப் படிக்கும் போதே நீங்க எல்லாம் பாத்துட்டீங்க, அப்படி சொல்றதை தான் ட்ரை படிப்பேன். ஓகே, பட் தட் கிராமர்லி அப்படிலாம் எனக்கு வேணாம். எனக்கு வந்து அப்படியே in what when you read it, it should be like me telling to you. ரொம்ப கிராமட்டிக்கலா நான் வந்து இன்னி வரைக்கும் I have never my speed is only because of my voice and my ability to communicate. So my writing will also be in the spoken English and not in the written English. அதனால நம்ம கிளாஸ்க்கு வராது யாரா அந்த மெட்டீரியல் எடுத்தா என்ன இவரையா நல்லா நடத்துறான்னு சொல்றேன் அப்படின்வாங்க. Okay, 80G donations is divided into 3 parts. donations are divided into three parts, my dear friends. 100% without limitation, 50% without limitation, 100 or 50% with limitation. Okay, easiest way to remember 100% without limitation. எங்கெல்லாம் நேஷனல்ன்ற வேர்டு வருதோ அங்கெல்லாம் கொடுத்துருங்க. பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர்ஸ் நேஷனல் ரிலீஃப் ஃபண்ட், National Defense Fund, National Children Fund, National Fund for Eradication of Poverty, National Blood Transfusion Council, National Clean Ganga Front, Swachh Bharat Kosh, and the recently added is Prime Minister's CARE, PM CARES. 50% Nehru's family, Jawaharlal Nehru Memorial Trust, Indira Gandhi Memorial Trust, Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. The only other thing is Prime Minister's Drought Relief Fund. அங்க national word வரல. 50%. All other things, put it in the third bracket. The maximum you can claim there is 10% of adjusted total income. Okay, I've not seen a question where you are tested on adjusted total income. Okay, so that is 80G. And these are all the steps of computation. Take your time. Take your time, have a read through, please. Just a glimpse of some questions. Actually, in set off also, I'll change the question number so that it's a continuous question number. Compute the total in deduction available to Sharada under section 80D. 80D consists of policy 1, policy 2. Policy 1, assessee spouse and dependent children, maximum 25,000. Policy 2, parents, maximum 25,000. In both the cases, if any of the senior person insured is a senior citizen, on the policy you can claim up to 50,000. What is 80D? What are all the four things covered? Contribution to CGHS, preventive health checkup only up to 5,000, and medical expenditure if it is not covered. Go ahead, answer it. Policy 1, policy 2 nu போட்டு அப்படி உங்கள்ட்ட क्वेश्चन கொடுத்துட்டேனா, which means I am drinking coffee. Yeah, those are. each. Hmm? எது பாலிசி 1ல parents goes to policy 2, assessing spouse and dependent children to policy 1 only. ஆமா, totally what is allowed is itself 5,000. Preventive health checkup in total it cannot exceed 5,000. சொல்லுங்க. 2,000 3,000 கொடுத்தாங்க. Three minutes. 3 minutes 11 seconds. ஆமா. So up to 50,000 you can claim. Even one person being a senior citizen, policy 1, assessee, spouse, dependent children, whatever may be, all the 4, medical, preventive, CGHS, expenditure. Policy 2, only parents, all the 4. But preventive cannot exceed 5,000 in total of policy 1 and not for policy 1 separately 5, policy 2 separately. Yeah, 34,200 தான வரும் எப்படி கொடுத்தாலும். $25 வரைக்கும் இருக்குல்ல ராஜா. Next question you will understand it better. Equal ராஜா, ரெண்டு பேருக்கும் 3,000 3,000 pay பண்ணிருக்கோம். The question says, okay, it is totally equal in values for health checkup for her own health and health of mother 6,000. So each 3,000. If I claim 3,000 here, I can only claim 2,000. Do the next question. You will get the answer. நீங்க கேட்ட கேள்விக்குலாம் இருக்கு. Please do the next question first. So in this case, had you given 3,000 in the policy 1, the policy 2 would have been only 2,000. So here is where that small tax plan is. For 50 for policy 1, 50 for policy 2. I haven't interchanged. Instead of claiming 3,000 in policy 1, I am only claiming 1,400 so that I can claim the entire 3,600 here. Had I claimed 3,000 here, I would have only claimed 2,000 here. That's the small 1,600 rupee or 1,400 rupees extra benefit. Okay. Question number should be 48. Should be 48. Mr. Y, a resident individual, submits you the following particulars of his income and outgoing. Salary received by check, share of profit from a firm, contribution towards pension plan of himself, the sum paid by Messrs. F Industries and debited to his capital account. He has also taken the said policy in the name of his wife for the same amount which was paid by check. Oh, I lost connection. Power bit done. Can you just assure them that I'm connecting? In terms of 46, I was just telling if 3,000 can be claimed 2,000. We also did 47th question. We also did 47th question. Screen is not shared.
We are not able to see your screen, sir.
One. We were starting this question. I mean, we did this question. Mr. A, aged 40 years, paid medical insurance for himself and his spouse. Policy 1. Medical insurance for his father, senior citizen. Policy 2. 3,600 central government health scheme for himself and spouse. Policy 1. So, policy 1 already 20,000 and this 3,600, 23,600. This preventive health checkup, I should not claim the entire 3,000 because then the policy 2 years. So I will claim only up to 1,400. 20,000, 3,600, 1,400. So that the remaining can be claimed in the other policy. This is how we worked out that question. Actually, sorry. No, no. Actually, I have a small request that you just call me if there is a issue, so that will be better than because ஒரு வேகத்துல கொஸ்டின் போடும்போது I forgot to see the message. Okay, இப்போ கூட
Okay,
அவன்
sir.
தான் பார்த்தான். Okay, okay, so you don't even hesitate to call me. One of you just make a WhatsApp call. I'll be right. Fine. Okay. So let's do one thing. We wind up here the class today because some of you have to go to office. Okay, they said maximum 9:30. So we'll wind up here. One thing is, please read deduction chapter today. Okay. Tomorrow we are sitting till we are over with assessment of individuals. Okay. There will be 2 sessions of classes up to 12 o'clock. The class will be there. Okay, right? So tomorrow we should complete assessment of individual. Since it is 2 sessions, come here and attend. Okay, right? Meet you tomorrow morning at 6:15 to start the classes. All the best, friends.